Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie and today I'm gonna show you everything that I made in 2022. I am super excited for this video. I've been waiting a very long time for this and I have a lot of stuff to show you. I will do my best and go through them month by month and see if I can remember when I made what. Some of the stuff I will have to put pictures in because I either don't have them anymore or they were gifts. Also, on that note, it's been about a year since I started knitting, so that's something I always forgot to tell you in the last videos. But yes, it's only been about a year. I made my boyfriend a sweater last Christmas, which was his Christmas present, and that was my very first knit. But I'm just focusing on what I knit this year. I did not make a lot of things last year, so in still 21, I think that was, yeah. Sorry, my brain is a bit all over the place, but that's why I'm just focusing on everything I made this year. And I can tell you already I made a lot of things. Also, my Christmas tree, isn't it gorgeous? I'm so happy that we got a Christmas tree again this year with our really nice red decoration, and I think we can get started. So a few things I have stored away for quite a few months because I needed some space in my wardrobe. So some of them are quite wrinkled, like this first garment. This is a sweater. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. It's a free pattern by Drops. It is worked up in Drops Wish. It's blue. The yarn is very soft. I did make a mistake. Yeah, this is the back. You can see where the front and the back is. I have a big mistake up here. But yeah, this is my first garment. I do not wear this. I will probably give it away as well because the yoke is way too tight. As you can see, my shoulders are right here and this is the yoke where it spans, so it sits really awkwardly. That is the reason why I don't wear this at all. I could reuse like the yarn. I could undo it all and salvage the yarn, but I can't be bothered. I wouldn't know what else to do with it, and because I have used it or have worn it just a few times before, it did pill quite a lot, and the yarn is just very flat and a bit used, so I don't know. I think I'll keep it like this and just donate it. Also, I'm trying to go through them fairly quickly because I have a lot of things to show you and I can't just stick to one for a very long time. But I will link everything down below, all of the patterns that I used, etc. And you can always check out my old videos or my Instagram if you are interested. Second garment is very wrinkled. As you can see, I did fold this up. This is a free pattern as well. This is from a YouTuber, I can't remember her name. I made this probably in January as well. I've not worn this once. The yarn, you might remember this, it's very itchy. I don't like it on my skin at all, and I use this yarn for different projects because it is wool and it felts very well, so I will probably donate this one as well. Then I think we are already going into February, and in February I made this jumper. This is a self-drafted one. It has a 2x2 rib high collar. It is again very wrinkled because I put it away. It is a raglan. I designed this myself. The yarn is Drops Andes in this really nice green color. The yarn was alright. It's very chunky, but I did not use the right needle size. I don't know why. I'm like super off gauge, if you can even see that, because I just made up my own pattern. But the sweater is very oversized and it's very heavy, and the problem that I have is it's very see-through, as you can see here, so it really stretches out the raglan stitches and it hangs because of the weight in a very awkward way on my body. I still have a few skeins of this left. I think I got 1 or 2 leftovers. I would not want to work with this yarn again, I think, because it's just so chunky, and I came to love the lightweight yarns. But yeah, this is self-drafted. I think I've worn it once or twice and then it's just stretched out, sadly. But that was February, and in February I also started making a few accessories, and the first one is this 2x2, well, 1x1 rib, sorry. It's by Purl Soho. It's a free pattern as well. What is it called? It's like the classic ribbed hat or something like this. I made this in an acrylic yarn because I just wanted to use up the yarn. I've not worn this once. The size, I'm super off gauge. It's very, very big. I can't even wear this outside because it just doesn't fit my head. It would just be all the way down to my nose. But it was a fun project. I used up some of my stash yarn, some of my acrylic yarn, and I think I'm gonna give this away as well. The next thing is also just a single piece. It is one mitten. I had a lot of fun doing this. This is the Friendship Mitten by Drops. Again, a free pattern. This yarn I used for my crochet jumper sweater. It is a very popular video on my channel here. It also is my first ever video I uploaded. But it's just a single mitten, and I had some leftovers from the jumper that I made. I made one mitten, and then I didn't want to make a second one, so that's why I only have one, because I got distracted as you do. So I only have one, and I already reused this yarn in my scrappy blanket that I make, so I can't even make a second one. So I don't know what to do with it. But yeah, that is February as well. I made my boyfriend his very first sweater. It is this one. This is No Frills. That's what it's called. No Frills sweater. Gosh, I almost forgot it. By PetiteKnit. I knit this up in Sunday by Sadness yarn in this very grey, nice grey colour. I held it double, and it got very expensive very fast because I didn't know at that time that they also had double Sunday, which is the thickness as if you would just hold 2 Sunday strands together. But my boyfriend loves it. It is very big. The raglan is very deep. I still have to figure out how to make my boyfriend something that will fit him. But he loves it dearly. He wears it, which makes me very happy, of course, that it's not just something that I made for him and it's not using it. In March I started a few projects, I think. I'm not sure if I really... Oh yeah, I made this one. I finished this one. I almost forgot it. I signed up for my very first test knit in March. It was by... I can't remember who it was by, but this is the top. I made it in an acrylic yarn, so I'm not wearing this at all. I'll probably donate it as well. The pattern was very fun though. You use a sand stitch, I believe. You can't really see it because I marbled the yarn, maybe like this here. I marbled the yarn. I used one strand of this darker pink and one of this lighter pink. There we go. And it is like a tube top with a 2x2 rib at the top, and then some straps. I also didn't make the straps long enough, or I think they stretched out, or something was wrong with the straps as well, so I can't wear this top at all. I might make another one in the future. It was a fun knit to do, but I don't think I'm a tube top person because I have a very narrow waist, and with just no shaping for the waist, it just looks a bit strange on me. In March as well, this is my pride and joy. I am so happy with this garment. It is my Maja sweater. You've probably seen this so many times now, but I just can't get enough of it. I made this in woolly knit British 100% British wool in their cones. This was a collaboration with the Create Bear podcast that they did, and I got some cones. I got this nice ivory white color, and then charcoal is the black one. It's actually not black, it's a very dark grey, maybe like this. And this pattern is by Helene Magnusson. She designed it for a magazine, I believe. It is a free pattern, so you can go and check that out. It is designed to be a cardigan, and you steek that cardigan. But I saw Rebecca from the Create Bear podcast wear this, and I thought it just looked so amazing that I really need to make one myself. And it was very challenging for me at the time because I was still new to knitting. I've only been knitting for maybe like 4 or 5 months, something like this. And it was also the first time that I did some short rows. They are not very neat, you have big holes here. But it's fine because I love this garment very, very dearly. And it's on the back and no one's gonna see it because I have long hair anyway. So yeah, if you want to know how I made this sweater, how I made the cardigan the pattern is written for into this sweater, I have some notes on Ravelry. You can go and check it out and make one for yourself because it's very, very fun to knit up, especially the colour work portions. I have one other garment that I believe I either started or finished it in March, I can't remember. It is my sweater number 9 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. I knit this up in the petite wool by We Are Knitters and 1 strand of drops kit silk. The colour is ivory and it is a very nice ivory. I really like this sweater. It is very, very chunky. It is very deep because the pattern is designed for a DK weight, and I think this is like an iron weight. At that time I did understand gauge, but I didn't really understand what it meant to gauge swatch and all of that jazz. But I had a lot of fun knitting this up. I still wear this almost every day because it's so warm and cozy. The sleeves have this really nice, it's like, what do you call this? It's not a bell sleeve, but it's very wide at the beginning and then it cinches in quite rapidly. And then you have the 2x2 rib for the cuff as well to match the collar. And it is very oversized. I only washed this a few months ago because I was so scared, because it is already super wide and big on me, that with blocking it would be even bigger. But I'm very glad I did it in the end, because that means that the bottom is now straight and not like cinched in like this. So a very fun knit, highly recommend it. I know we have a lot of troubles with My Favourite Things Knitwear in the size range department, but I really just like her patterns. I think they're very timeless and very effortless as well, and I fell in love with this sweater when I saw it and I thought I needed it, and I did. So that was March. Now we're going into April, and in April I signed up for my second test knit, and it was a lot of fun again as well. I can't remember what this is called, but this is a t-shirt that I made. I held drops. Flora is the orange and the pink, and this purple is it drops baby merino, I think. It's a very, very nice pattern. I really like it. You have this all over color work and it's really not difficult, so I highly recommend something like this if you want to dip your toes into color work. I know it kind of is intimidating because it's the whole shirt, but it's really fun and it goes by super fast. I also did some short rows here again, like the pattern recommended, and I am a bit sad about the back because you can see where I held, well, where the beginning of the round is and where I held the yarn. So you can clearly see, let me get this right here. Can you see that? I messed up here. So it's always, because the stripes are not very even, they're always a bit like this. When you work in the round, you can see that, but again, it's the back, so I don't really care. Another thing that happened with this shirt is that I actually ran out of the light pink one here, and what I did was I went back for a few rows and I pulled the yarn tighter, so I pulled on the floats so I could have more length further on. But that was a huge mistake and I would not recommend that at all, because what happened was that at this last row here you can see how the stitch is kind of split because the pink is not, the floats in the back are not long enough. But apart from this, I really like it. It is very warm because Drops Flora is alpaca. It was a lot of fun to do and I had a lot of fun again doing a test knit, and I'm very proud of this as well. We are still in April, and in April I also made this shirt. It was for a cow by Hiris Makes, and this is a pattern by Iris. It's called Lotus Petal Top. I had a lot of fun making this. This is made in Drops Saffron. It is 100% cotton in this very nice beige colour. It is kind of like a drop shoulder design. You knit in the round, you work from the bottom up. You have this very fun lace detail here. This was the first time I made lace as well, and it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it, and I think I'm gonna make a second one this summer, or next summer should I say, because the problem that I have is that the collar is very wide on me. It's a bit like a boat neck, and I really don't like boat necks. And also for the armholes, they're not deep enough, so I have this fabric bunching up into my armpits, and I really don't like that. I tried stretching it out with blocking, but of course it's cotton, so you can't really manipulate the fibers very well. But I highly recommend this pattern as well. It was very clear and so much fun to knit, especially the lace. Again, I've never done lace before at that time, and I was still a beginner, knitting beginner. I mean, I still am now, but I think this just shows how easy this is and how nice it can be to dip your toes into something different. This is also my most worn summer shirt because I loved it so much. In summer I like to have kind of flowy things and things that have a high collar so I don't show everyone. Yeah, I think you understand what I mean. Going into May, I bought my very first hand-dyed skeins. This is Life in the Long Grass in rose gold. It's in the, I think it's 4-ply, the fingering weight base, and I held this yarn double with one strand of Drops Kid Silk, hence the really nice halo. This is No Frills, the No Frills sweater again by PetiteKnit. I just made it into a shirt. I enjoyed making the No Frills sweater for my boyfriend so much that I really wanted to make one for myself, but because I had only 2 hand-dyed skeins of yarn, I thought a short sleeve would be perfect, and this shirt is amazing. I really like it. I made it cropped, I believe. I think I already washed it as well. I like the collar. It is a raglan style, and the only issue that I have is because I've never worked with hand-dyed skeins before, as you can tell by the projects, so I looked up some like tips and tricks how to work with it, and people said you should alternate skeins to help with color pooling and stuff like this. So I did, and I think I did it a bit wrong because this happened. I have this really awkward stripe at the back running down. It's mostly the mohair, and I think what I did wrong is I pulled, when I alternate skeins to get the skein you work with at the front, I pulled the mohair really tightly because I was so afraid to have like loose stitches running down the back. So that ended up with a really nice white stripe and then I stopped doing that, so it kind of ends right here as well. I don't mind. I don't really wear this a lot. I know I should do, but I found that drops kid silk is really itchy for me, especially around my neck, and this shirt is very warm, so I might have to just wear it a bit more often in winter and see how I'm feeling. But it's a shame because I really liked the yarn and I really liked the colours. It's just, I think next time I need to try different mohairs. Now we are full on in summer. In June I made this right here. This is the Cumulus blouse, I think it was the blouse, by PetiteKnit, again for my mum. I made it for her birthday and I used, I think it was Helene. It is a fingering weight yarn. It took a while and I am very, very sad because the size is just way off. PetiteKnit's patterns have a lot of positive ease and I am aware of this, and instead of sizing down to kind of accommodate this the amount of positive ease, is now way too big on my mum. So instead of being like a nice summery flowy shirt, it's more like a lightweight sweater because the neckline goes to her breastbone pretty much, so she would be on full display and obviously you don't want that. So I am very sad about this because I worked on this for so long and so hard, because you work with 3mm needles. I didn't realize at the time that it would be a fingering weight object and it took a while. I mean, I even had to work on it a lot longer than first of all, I started a lot later than what I thought I would, because I was like, oh, I still have a month to do, I will knit it up really fast and it's fine. But it wasn't fine, so I was on a real time crunch and I actually made it a lot shorter than I wanted it to make lengthwise for the body, because it just took so long. Because if you work on a fingering weight sweater, you know the struggle. But it is fine, she's very happy about it because it's something that I made for her, so I'm not too bothered about it. I will make her some more things hopefully this summer, or I wanted to make her something for Christmas. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. We are now in June. That was the Cumulus blouse t-shirt, I really can't remember. And in June I signed up for my third and last test knit as well. Hopefully I will participate in some more this year, but this was the last one for that year. It is a really nice shirt. I made this in Drops Saffron again. It's a very nice bricky orange colour and it has this gorgeous lace on the side. It's like a flower pattern running down the side. The problem that I had with this, I love this shirt. I think it's gorgeous. I really enjoyed working on it. The lace was a lot more challenging than I thought it would be because of the repeats, but once you've done it like 3 or 4 times, it's fine and you don't have to look at the chart anymore. The problem that I had with this is I made the straps way too short. I still have some leftovers from this yarn, so I could just unpick it, but I'm not sure if I would really wear the shirt anyway because it is very tight on me and I should have sized up, but at the time I thought size wise it would just be best if I did my actual bust measurement and knit the size that works for that measurement. So it's very skin tight, but I really like it. I think it's a gorgeous design. The next thing that I have like struggled with But I think that's working with cotton in general and these types of shirt is I have this stretched out stitch right here. It's because you attach the yarn and it stretches out right in the center right here. I have very pale skin, so you literally see anything and everything that is against my skin, so you really, it's very noticeable, and I don't love that. But a very fun knit as well, and I'm happy I participated in the test knit because I really enjoyed it. That was June. Now we're moving into July, and here is where it gets all a bit hazy and I don't really know what I did. I think the only finished garment I had in July was this, and you might recognize this yarn because again it is Life in the Long Grass in rose gold. It is the Ripple Bralette by Jessie May. Very fun pattern. I would definitely make it again. The reason why I made this is because I wanted to use up the leftovers from this, like everything that I had. Hence the very strange ribbing bottom, because the problem was you knit it from the top, well, bottom up. That's what it's called, bottom up. And I started off with a provisional cast on, I think, yeah, and it is twisted rib, and at that time I just didn't realize that when you start out with a ribbing for something with a provisional cast on, when you go back it would turn around the direction of the stitches. So I don't know how well you can see, but here this one goes up and then here it goes down. So yeah, lesson learned. You can't do a provisional cast on with ribbing, which makes sense thinking about it afterwards, because all of the sweaters and whatever you make, they all start off with the provisional cast on and then go directly into either the pattern or just straight stockinette, and then you go back into the ribbing. Now I know why. But this was very fun as well. I would not wear this outside because, first of all, it looks tiny, but it's not, because it stretches really widely. It was a lot of fun to make this, but because I had a very limited amount of yarn to work with, because I wanted to use up the leftovers, it's very short. It's like bralette size short. So it's more like an undergarment, I think. Nothing that I would be comfortable just wearing outside with this and some trousers. In August I tried dabbling into designing my own things again, and I actually hate it. This is a self-drafted t-shirt. It is a raglan, and here short sleeved 2x2 rib for the collar, and then I wanted to have like the boring stuff at the top and then the party at the bottom, and that didn't work out quite like I wanted it to be. First of all, it's very wrinkled because I put that one away as well. But the problem I had is with this pattern down here, this design element, it's just a blob. I don't know what happened. It's supposed to be like a chiffon styled zigzag. When it's further away I think you can see a bit better if it doesn't have wrinkles, but it's just a blob. You can't really see that. I think it was the wrong yarn. I used Smart by Sadness Yarn in this really electric blue, or this very vibrant blue. I have a lot of this, well, not a lot of this yarn, but I have this yarn in blue and in green. It's like a very, it's a bit of an awkward green, and I'm not a super green person, so I really don't know what to do with it. But I actually got that yarn because it was on offer and I needed free shipping. So that's the only reason why I got it. I didn't actually want it. But yeah, I am very disappointed with this. I think I wore it once and it was way too thick and it wasn't nice. It's also super wash, and the yarn was very difficult to work with as well because of the nature. But that was August, and now we are going into September. In September I think I finished 2 things. First of all, my pride and joy as well, my Cécile top by Susanne Müller, or Paula Strickt, I never know. This was something. This is actually the back, this is the front here. I loved working with this yarn. This yarn is gorgeous. It is from BC Yarn. It's called Bio Balance in this very nice chocolatey grey colour. You work with these type of tops, you work the fronts and the backs separately, so in quarters, and then you join them on the side and in the round. It is a fingering weight project again. And I don't know why, but I didn't realize that it would take me so long. So I was stuck with the bottom forever. I took this with me so many times and then I worked on it, and it took so long to just do even like half an inch because it's fingering weights. But I'm so happy that I stuck with it and that I finished it. I think I even had to undo the bottom ones, the cast off edge, because I didn't have enough yarn. But because I finished this in September, I couldn't actually wear this because it was already a bit too cold. So I'm looking forward to wear this. I can't remember what size I made. I think the smallest size possible, or maybe I made an S, but I should have made an XS because this is the width. This is already on my back. It's very wide. I wanted it to be a bit more cinched in, like she did have on the pattern pictures. I don't know if it was because I blocked it, because before blocking it did cinch in because of course it's ribbing, but afterwards it just, yeah, it's like this. But gorgeous yarn, would probably buy it again, would also really recommend working with it. It is a blend of cotton and wool, I think, and that made it very pleasant to work with. The pure cotton shirts like this one, it was also fun. I heard that this drop saffron is a lot better than other cotton yarn, but the merino or the wool content really helped make this even more pleasant to work with. And then another thing that I finished in September, oh, what is this called? Snowbell top, that's what it's called. The Snowbell top by Sandnes Garn. I have the pattern book, can't remember what it's called. Again, I will link everything down below. This is made in drops, no, not drops, Sandnes Garn Line, which is the thicker version of Tin Line. I loved working with this yarn. It was so nice. Once I finished this, or I started working with this yarn, I immediately went back to the yarn shop and got more of it because it was so pleasant to work with. It's like a DK weight, I think, or sport weight, and you have this very nice lace motif. They look like leaves. It was so much fun to work with. Work up this lace. I think I'm really enjoying lace at the moment, and I did have some troubles with this shirt because I actually had to do it twice. I think I cast on the wrong amount of stitches from the get-go, and then I was wondering why I had too many stitches once I finished the whole lace yoke, so I had to do it again. But I'm glad I did. It's in a very nice aubergine colour. The only thing is, again, it's a boat neck. It's very heavy for this type of garment. For just being a shirt with a lace motif, it is very heavy, so it really drags the lace down. And the problem that I have is this is the sleeve. My armpit is here, so I have all of this extra, essentially all of this, and the lace is all the way down to, well, essentially my bra underwire. So it's very big. I can't really wear this without a nude bra underneath, because the lace just makes the whole top portion see-through, which is a shame because I was really excited for this pattern and to knit it up, and it just doesn't really fit right. I might make it again. I'm not sure if I made the smaller size already. I think I did, and it's still too big on me, so maybe I'll gift it to my mum. Maybe she will be happy about it. But that was September. Now we're going into October and into autumn season, the colder months. The first thing that I finished was, well, the only thing I think, yeah, is this sweater. I love this dearly as well. It is the Frankie sweater by Sadness Gone Again. It's not from the same pattern book, but I think it's from Miktil Dama, is that what it's called? It's called Made for Women in English. And I made this in one strand of Drops Kid Silk and another strand of woolly knits, 100% British wool. Again, the same colour as my Maja sweater, and it gives you this really, really nice grey colour. It's very versatile. I really, really like it. I did not follow the pattern to a T because I noticed, not to give away too much from the pattern, but essentially the raglan increases were way too deep for me, and it's already oversized on me. And if I would actually have made the pattern as they suggested, I would make it as, it would probably be like all the way down here, so I have this extra fabric, which I didn't want. So I made it smaller and I actually cropped it as well. The cropping part was, I don't think it was intentional, but I just got bored of it. Also for the bottom and the cuff and the collar, not sure if you can see that at all, but probably not. You have a twisted rib, and I like the look of twisted rib, but I really don't like working it because it really hurts my wrists. And then the next thing with this is for the collar. You're supposed to actually fold it down and sew it down like this, but I really liked it as a bit of like a mock neck kind of style, so I kept it like this, and I'm very happy I did. I can always sew it down if I'm not happy with it or if I want to change it in the future, but this is what it looks like right now. I really like this. The only problem again is I wish I used a different mohair. I like Drops Kid Silk because it is very affordable, but yeah, I just can't handle it on my skin. I'm kind of sick of buying something and making something and then it's just gonna be itchy, because what's the point? What's the point in not investing a bit more in something that I will actually wear and get the use out of once I worked with it? So that is the issue with this one as well. But I'm still gonna wear it. I mean, it's fine. I'm not gonna have it just next to skin anyway, because it is a sweater. But even with the shirt, I can feel it on my arms being a bit scratchy, especially my neck. And I don't really get a rash or anything, but I do get some redness around it. Anyway, that was October. Now we are in November, and in November I made my very first pair of mittens. I'm very happy about these. This is a free pattern as well. I can't remember the name. You have very, very nice cabling detail. This was the first time that I worked with cables as well. Never done it before, really enjoyed it very much actually. This is These are my leftovers from my sweater number 9. So it's a petite wool by My Favourite Things Knitwear in ivory. And I'm so happy with these. I also only blocked them a few days ago. And I'm very happy. These knit up so quickly. I would highly recommend these as like a Christmas present or a birthday present if someone's birthday is in winter or in the winter months. They were so fast. I knit one of these, I think, almost entirely in like a day. And it was also the month where I started sock knitting. So I do have quite a few socks. They are not the nicest because I knit most of them for my boyfriend, so he's been wearing them. The first pair, I do have a pair, again, not very nice. These are just plain vanilla socks, all of them are really. I got this yarn when I was in England in September. This is the Yorkshire Spinners. The colourway is called Owl, and it's their signature 4-ply, I think. Very lovely yarn, really enjoyed working with it. I really like the colours as well. My boyfriend's very happy about it, so that is always a plus. And then I knit up a second pair, again vanilla socks. This is Lana Grossa yarn. It's from Myfavouritethingsknitwear and it's their soy base, I believe. Yeah, there's not a lot to do, not a lot to say about these. I knit this in 2.5mm needles, and these were with 3mm needles, and these are way too big. Like, yeah, way too big. These fit a lot better, but I think my boyfriend already stretched them out as well. But that's fine because he can do whatever he wants to do with his socks, as long as he doesn't absolutely ruin them. So that was November, and now in December I made my very first pair of socks. I made myself some vanilla socks as well. I love this colorway. I'm so happy about these. This is Fena Wolle, which is an Austrian wool producer, and it's their Christmas edition Mali, and I have the color code linked down below. I think it was 21 12 22 or 22 12 22, one or the other. And then I made another pair for my boyfriend because I wanted to have Christmas socks for him as well. This is what they look like. This is again also Fena Wolle, and I believe this is the colorway 21 12 22 now. Very gorgeous yarn. Worked this up with 3mm needles, just knitting the round. Very fast, very easy, very pleasant yarn to work with. Highly recommend to try it out if you can get your hands on it. I know it's a bit difficult if you're not in Austria or Germany, but love it, love the yarn. And then I made an Oslo hat, and that was a big fail. I think that was one of the fails that I made in 22, if not the biggest. This is what it looks like. I had some leftover yarn from a sweater that I had to unravel. This is Drops Baby Merino in this grey colour again. And I held it double and it was just way too big. I'm super off gauge, and I knit the brim shorter and then the hat itself as well, because I don't really like having this extra flap that you have with the hat. So I thought I would just make it shorter, but the problem is that I changed needle size for the rest of the body to a 3mm needle, still holding the yarn double, and down here I worked with 3.5 because I looked at some Ravelry projects and that's what people use as well, and it worked out for them but not for me, because the brim is super big and super wide and the top part is a bit tighter, so it doesn't really work together. But my boyfriend's happy about it. It's more like a scrappy hat. It's also very funny to wear this because it looks a bit like one of these fisherman hats that end like just before your ear. And then my very last thing that I made in December 2022 is this right here. It is the terrazzo slipover by PetiteKnit. I made this for my friend, and it was really my only gift knit that I made this year. She hasn't received it yet, but I hope she will very soon. I used 1 strand of Drops Alaska and 1 strand of Drops Kid Silk in this really nice beige colour. I almost didn't want to give it away because it looked so good, but I'm very excited for her to receive it, and I really hope that she likes it. So those were all of my knits of 2022. It's a lot. I don't even want to count. I might have forgotten 1 or 2 things. I didn't include like small projects. I know I did a few, but yeah, I just included the big ones, and I'm very happy. I think in this year I learned so many new things, not only about myself, what I like, what I don't like, but also about the craft in general, and that makes me really happy because I can really see myself keep this hobby for a long time and keep working on new things. And it makes me so happy that I can also bring joy to others, even though I am quite a selfish knitter, but handmade things just are the best. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some inspiration to maybe try out some new yarn, try out some different patterns, and like and subscribe if you did like this video. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you're working on, how many knits you did. Comment whatever you want, even if it's just to say hello. It always makes me really happy because I read all of the comments. And go over to Instagram and follow me there for more content, because I do post regularly there as well. Also, you can kind of influence what you want to see next if you're interested in that. And I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a great start into the new year. And yeah, happy knitting. See you in 2023. Bye!